So wonders will never cease. Look here, I'm seeing a bunch of these so-called detractors and PlayStation fanboys offering apologies for actually carrying water for some unknown leaker. Let me click here. Yeah. Who am I kidding? These fools are all over the internet telling us, oh, Xbox hadn't had a good track record of anything. I think I'm going to now take a different position because there's a benefit from, in it for me. And I'm just going to be honest with you. So those of you here on Xbox, right, that watch the channel, those of you who are PC guys that watch the channel, and some of you that are on PlayStation that watch the channel, let me just go ahead and give you the vision. Let me just cast the vision going forward. What if I took time to frustrate bad ideas? And I take those bad ideas and I cut them open and I scrutinize them even much more than I actually have in the past. I mean, what do you guys say to that? Do you guys think it's a viable methodology? Because let me tell you what we're going to do. At first, it was all about just owning, this whole conversation and taking captive of these ideas, right? So what I was doing is I was taking these ideas and I was locking them in the box, but I realized that was not necessarily as forceful as I wanted it to be. So what I want to do now is I want to frustrate the ideas. I want to pit the ideas against themselves. I want to take a very fine knife and cut through a lot of the different pieces. I'll show you an example that we're going to go ahead and highlight today because it's very important. I made a post on X. The post was very interesting, right? Oh, boy, Lord have mercy on my soul. This person said, my post said, Xbox, but we're making hardware. AMD, but we're making hardware for Xbox. PlayStation fanboys, but you're leaving the hardware business, no? And this user, Kickster Hawk Pro Hater, replied and said, but corporations and companies never have any reason whatsoever to lie. And I said, they were going to give the new hardware to gamers or sell it to make money? Last I checked, corporates have every incentive whatsoever, check notes, to make more money. Is there critical thinking still left under the sun? I asked. And this Kickster said that gives them more reason to not tell the truth, to keep supporters not to be honest. Now, I already know that this person wants to cap. You can already tell. Whenever they say something like that, right? Whenever they try to provide, there's an incentive for these people to lie here, and you provide a better incentive for them actually to say the truth, which is something that everybody knows generally, right? They start dancing around. I saw another so-called pro PlayStation talking head do it. I said, Rockstar likes money, right? He won't answer. He won't give me a straight answer. There's a reason I'm not going to anybody else's forum or podcast that's on the PlayStation side. You guys cannot simply tell me if it's about to rain outside or if it's sunny outside. And it's going to be hard to actually have definitions with y'all because you guys will scramble and sneak through all kinds of holes and say things like, but it's different though, under circumstances that are the exact same. For instance, Herman Holst, when he told y'all back then that just because one AAA game was going to PC did not mean that every other AAA game was going to go to PC, y'all said it was different from Phil Spencer's only 4 games and we'll learn, and not to make any promises beyond that. And then he said, Phil Spencer, that in the next coming years, that games that are exclusive to a single platform were going to be basically pretty much the exception and, not the norm. Y'all said it was different. Oh, it's different though because it's PC. What kind of foolishness are we dealing with in this conversation? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to project this frustration of intellectual dishonesty on top of your arguments. Well, I will now take your argument and I'll peel every fiber of it. That's what I want to do. So now I'm coming in with some level of prejudice against your case. You feel me? You know when a judge dismisses a case with prejudice? I'm coming for that intent where your case will be dismissed with prejudice. And so now we want to relegate your ideas into the dumpster. You can keep talking, but we want to ensure that your ideas never have a leg to stand on. In fact, we want to make sure that they never even pick off the ground because this weekend, like the weekend of Christopher Drink's Game Pass P&L nonsense, is one that recurs all the time. So what I'll do is on weekends like this, God willing, everything goes normal. I pretty much fragment these ideas and we'll see if they can actually hold their own. So I said, so they're going to lie about making hardware that makes them money and AMD will also join in the lie too? This user said yes. So I put up the PlayStation 1 too. The collab between PlayStation and AMD that Jack Hune and Mark Cerny actually talked about, right? Project Amethyst. And I said, I see. So this is a lie too? They said, could very well be yes. This is how you know the person is backing away from their position. You see, when it's Xbox, they have a hard stance. When it's PlayStation, could very well be, has to actually preface the stance. And if you look on their account, they don't say anything about PlayStation, but you already smell, the PlayStation fanboy.exe. And you know me, I'm attack dog mode, but I got to basically go ahead and sense exactly what is actually going on here. So I asked them, I said, now you have two burdens of proof. Burden of proof number 1 and 2. How would you prove that both partnerships, and the partnerships that I'm referring to are partnership number 1, AMD and PlayStation, partnership number 2, AMD and Xbox, how would you prove that their partnerships are lies? Do you know what this person said to me? Can y'all guess? Look at it right here. They said, well, for the Xbox one, the Xbox rumor, this is where you should stop talking, okay? Those of you who are not into farming this kind of stuff for content, this is where I recommend that you close your window and go away and let me come in and cook, as I get a benefit called views in frustrating these ideas, okay? Maybe forward it to me. Hopefully I have time. I need content anyways. Trying to pump out 6 videos a day, I'm going to need your help, right? So I said, oh my gosh. I was about to do that, but I said, let me just keep reading. This Xbox rumor is from an allegedly reputable leaker. What? So an allegedly reputable leaker is whom we're going to now base our claims about a piece of possible hardware that will make two companies money on. We're not going to base our conclusions on the chair and CEO of AMD. We're not going to do that, which is actually, in essence, a third party from this whole thing. There's a leaker. We don't know who they are. We don't know what their intentions are. Then there's Xbox. We don't even really know what their full intentions are. We know they want to make money. They could have other ulterior motives, but then there's AMD, who's sitting here saying we're a tech company that makes chips, and this is how we're going to roll. So because of some leaker on some bogus forum in a corner of the internet, I should now basically ignore what Lisa Su, AMD's chair and CEO, has said in a publicly traded company who is looking forward to this woman actually driving the fiduciary interests of AMD, and go believe some leaker in the corner, whom for any reason could have been a photoshopped image of some kind, or say a fomented fake account after every Xbox news cycle of Xbox's dead nonsense content. This is brain rot. There is no intellectual honesty. All of these people are watching y'all's podcasts and y'all's YouTube videos. Shame on every single one of you. You are intellectually dishonest, and I will hope that we will continue to expose how much of the big liars y'all are because of what it is that you're doing. Not a single one of you could actually sit back for 5 minutes and vet and say, now, why would this rumor even come around? And why would Xbox abandon hardware when it actually has hardware coming out October the 16th? What kind of idiocy is this? None of you even said that. $1,000 hardware that y'all railed about. $500 hardware that you guys stepped over, that Asus is making in conjunction with them, and none of you could critically even think about it. Even some of the Xbox so-called talking heads were even falling for this fomented piece of crap. And believe you me, I can't emphasize enough how this is such a shame. Xbox's community, your community, is cooked from within. It's not even only the PlayStation fanboys who are doing this. It's also the Xbox idiots that are doing this as well. This is crazy. You are living in clown world if you call yourself an Xbox gamer, that the people who are supposed to be representing your interests in the public discourse cannot even do a good job. Get to the PC ecosystem and leave these clowns alone. Leave them alone. Go get a PC. Keep your Xbox console. Leave all these excuses of, oh, it's not plug and play. It's nonsense. Come to where we use data and facts to actually drive home the interests of the consumer and the interests of the customer. Not this nonsense, emotionally driven fanboy trash. I'm kind of mad. Let me relax. Then they said, who has been correct in the past, so there is reason to believe him? Oh, God Almighty. Look how he made this very weak argument that I'm going to sit here and unfold. And he said, and the PlayStation 1 will be more that I have a natural distrust of any and all collective entities because they shouldn't be believed wholesale. Okay. Personal preferences aside, I just asked a simple question. Has this leaker ever gotten something wrong? If so, then there's reason to not believe him, just like the collective entities whom you distrust. That's not proof that's dependable. So take that nonsense out of here. And then he says there's the reason to doubt everything, even if this person has never been wrong before. No one said there's no reason to doubt anything. You're supposed to prove how that's a lie. Not go lean on some leaker who you don't even know who it is. It could be my freaking mother that is in Nigeria that's probably fomenting this particular Xbox news. My mom, I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you know it's not some Nigerian prince? You know what I mean? Like, that's actually throwing out this content. How do you know that it's not some fugazi phantom? How do you know who this freaking leaker is? Can you please put your name out there so we can know who you are? VG Emake, that's my first name. Some of you know me. Some of you know me from the Division days. And I'm here making this video. Why can't you just come out here and say, you know, a source told me? At least Moore's Law is dead, and others that say they have information and credible whatever, right? You're not the only leaker. You're not unique in leaking, right? But people here choose to believe it because it's Xbox. Then he said this nonsense, Costco trash talk nonsense, crap trash talk nonsense, Costco trash talking point nonsense idea, and says, there's a reason to doubt everything, blah, 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 but, and then he says, you know, but it's one of a number of markers that does suggest that they might not make another console. My N-word term of endearment. There's an Xbox handheld console PC made in conjunction with Asus that's coming on the 16th of October in 10 days. Okay, in 10 days. It is coming. I don't know what you all are smoking. I don't want it, though. This is not one of those. I don't care. I love to be, you know, of sound mind at any given time. But y'all should quit it. He said Costco isn't selling them anymore. No one seems to really be buying Xboxes. It's a culmination, he says. Fear, fear, your console's dying. Ibarra says your console of choice is dead. And I said Costco not selling a specific item doesn't mean anything. Hey, I went and looked. Did y'all know that Costco actually dropped selling popular books and is only going to be doing it during the holiday season? They pull items all the time, and it's business decisions, as they told Destin. He says it means something when we're talking about video game consoles, not books. And they're still selling PS5s and Switches. You can't run, Keekster Hawk Pro Hater. I have you in my cage. I'm just playing games with you. Your ideas are now locked up. And I'm controlling all of it. Because I choose to acknowledge what is real. You choose to acknowledge a fantasy. You choose to acknowledge a fantasy because Costco dropping popular books segment doesn't mean they're going to stop selling books. And you know what they said? I said, thankfully, Twitter is not real life. They said real life is where retailers aren't selling Xboxes anymore because no one is buying them. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we have frustrated the idea. And we've unveiled the PlayStation fanboy who's been concerned trolling. What I want them to do, and here's going to be, you know, my benchmark. Once they throw out one stupid PlayStation talking point, like no one is buying Xbox consoles or retailers aren't selling Xbox, Muscle RMH Gamer. Remember the no one's buying Xbox consoles because retailers aren't selling them in Europe talking point that we basically uncovered as a big fugazi when we started looking at European retailers and we found out that they had Xboxes in stock? You know that was a PlayStation fanboy fomented nonsense, trash fomented nonsense, trash crap talking point, fomented nonsense crap, trash talking point, right? What I want them to do is I want them to basically go ahead and regurgitate and vomit something so stupid in terms of their crap talking points that have no intellectual piece to it so that we can unveil them. That's how you know that you basically won. You don't need to do anything. Just keep asking them questions. It's on the YouTube video that you can yell and shout. But while you're at it, just keep asking questions. You don't need to shout. You don't need to raise your voice. You don't need to get mad or whatever it is. Just ask them questions. You're going to find out that these cats don't even know what the flip they're talking about. Many of them will be holding contradictory positions they wouldn't even know. Sometimes you will force them to even hold a position that's contrary to the position that they would have basically, you know, in a sense, praised and championed in the past. It's too easy. So this is a niche in itself. I can't believe that this is actually a big, huge niche, and only like a few YouTubers have basically been capitalizing on this stuff. It's so wild at the end of the day. And I have to say once again, shame on you, the content creators who fomented this stuff without actually verifying your information. You know yourselves. Shame on you, shame on you, shame on you for actually doing that, because again, you understand and you know exactly what it is that you have actually put in play. You like Xbox bad news. Lina Khan was talking, you jumped on it, and you contradicted yourself with Lina Khan's own talking point. Because all of you had been saying Xbox was dying and they meant nothing, and Lina Khan was talking about Xbox being a consolidated monopoly of some kind, and you agreed with her. So you can't, this weekend alone, you've engaged in lying, denial, contradictions, and intellectual dishonesty that the magnitude of it, I don't know if I've ever seen it before. And we will document and frustrate your ideas until you either start telling people the truth, or we now can quietly, easily, simply, and verifiably tag you as a liar or a fake news talking head. Peace out.